إِذْ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. Just recall when the hypocrites of Medina and those in whom hearts there was a disease. What do they mean? In whom hearts there was disease, that is, they were still at the first level of nifaq. It has not gone to the extreme. And there were some also in whom this nifaq was from the very beginning to the highest degree. Abdullah ibn Ubay, for example, he was from the very first day munafiq. Why? Because actually he was going to be proclaimed as king of Yasrib. These two tribes, Aus and Khazraj, they were very much weary of infighting between them. And they wanted, we should have some discipline, we should have some order here. So they had decided that they will declare Abdullah ibn Ubay as king of Medina, accept him as the king. And a crown was also, had been prepared. He was going to be crowned very soon. Coronation was to take place. And Muhammad came, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All his dreams, they were shattered. But he could do nothing. Because most of the people of his own tribe, Khazraj, they also believed in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what could he do? So he had no option but to become a Muslim legally and then, try his luck. To be always in search of some occasion. So he was a total munafiq from the very beginning. But other people, some were only, the disease was just in the first stage. إِذْ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ غَرَّ هَؤُلَاءِ دِينُهُمْ. To these people, that is the Muslims, the Mu'mins, their deen has made them crazy. They have become fools. They are going to confront Quraysh. What a big folly. They have lost their brains. They have become crazy. غَرَّ هَؤُلَاءِ دِينُهُمْ. Their deen, their belief has deceived them and made them gone crazy. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. They don't know that whosoever places his faith and confidence in Allah, Allah is Aziz, all-powerful, Hakim, all-wise. وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذْ يَتَوَفَّى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ. Only if you could see when the malaika, the angels, will be taking the souls and life of these people. يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ. They will be smiting their faces, وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ, and their backs. وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْحَرِيقِ. And they will be saying, now go and taste the punishment which will burn you. Hariq. ذَلِكَ بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. This is what your own hands have sent for you, your own deeds. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَيْسَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. And verily, Allah is not cruel to the people. This is your own earning. You have done it. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كدأب آل فرعون والذين من قبلهم كفروا بآيات الله فأخذهم الله بذنوبهم إن الله قوي شديد العقاب. ذلك بأن الله لم يكن مغيرا نعمة أنعمها على قوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وأن الله سميع عليم. صدق الله العظيم. In all the Madani surahs that we have already studied, Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Imran, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Ma'idah, there were addresses to the Muslims, then references and address to the Munafiqeen, and then the Bani Israel, the Jews, the people of the book. So here in this surah also, now there is a reference to the Jews. كَدَابِ عَلَى فِرْعَوْنَ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Like the manner of people of Fir'aun and those before him. كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. They disbelieved the revelations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَخَذَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِذُنُوبِهِمْ. So Allah seized them due to their misdeeds and sins. إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Verily, certainly, Allah is Qawi, all powerful, almighty, and He is very severe in punishment. Now this one ayah refers to all the stories of the messengers of Allah that appeared in Surah Al-A'raf, but making more apparent reference towards Al Fir'aun. But actually, the people of Nuh, the people of Hud, the people of Saleh, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to whom Hazrat Lut was sent, then people of Shu'aib, and then Al Fir'aun. But because this Al Fir'aun really, they had special relationship with the Jews, because the Jews were persecuted by them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delivered and saved them from their persecution. So actually now, he has been singled out, Fir'aun and his people. Qadabi ala Fir'aun. But it actually refers to all the nations who were destroyed because they didn't accept the dawah of the messengers of Allah who were sent to them. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change the favor with which He has blessed any nation. حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ, unless they change what is in their souls. This is a very permanent law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sunnatullah. And we shall read it because Surah Al-Ra'd and Surah Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, in these two surahs, this subject will be discussed in detail. لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Whatever is in your souls, you have to change it. If you don't change what is within your souls, the conditions will not change. And this is the biggest blunder that all the Muslim movements of today, the so-called jihadi movements, they are missing the point here. Before purifying the souls of the people, they want that the system should be changed. How can the system be changed? The inner personalities of the people should be changed first. Their thinking should change. Their value structure should change. What did Muhammad do? I am going to discuss it tomorrow in detail. What was the process for revolution? How he revolutionized the whole society and the whole country, rather the whole peninsula of Arabia. He changed the souls of the people first. Their thinking, their structure, their beliefs, their value structure, everything was changed. So you have to change people from within. As I quoted many a times, a couplet from Allama Iqbal, that this Quran, when it penetrates the inner soul of a person, he is changed from within. Chun baja dar raft, jahan digar shabad. Jahan chu digar shud, jahan digar shabad. And when the inner personality of a person changes, first of all, the whole world changes for him, because now his point of view has changed. And then this is the beginning of a revolution. So this is very important. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ حَتَّىٰ يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Allah is all hearing, all knowing. كَدَابِ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Again a reference to the whole history of the messengers of Allah and their nations who were doomed. كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. They rejected, belied the revelations of their Lord as well as the miracles that were shown to them. Ayat, it covers both the things. Because the teachings of the prophets, they are also ayat of Allah, revelations, ayatul Quran. These are ayat. But also, the miracles that were given to Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, 9 of them. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى تِسْعَ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ. 9 clear signs were given to, and we have read them in Surah Al-A'raf. كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ فَأَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ. We destroyed them. بِذُنُوبِهِمْ, due to their sins and misdeeds. وَأَغْرَقْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَكُلٌّ كَانُوا ظَالِمِينَ. And we drowned the people of Fir'aun, and they were the evildoers, the transgressors. إِنَّ شَرَّ الدَّوَابِّ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Verily, the worst of the beasts on earth, animals on earth, are those humans who make kufr. What is kufr? I discussed it. You know, this testimony of that Allah is here, Allah is our Lord, this testimony is in our souls. Our souls testify to it. We had that firm covenant with Him. Alastu bi rabbikum qalu bala. We have read it in Surah Al-A'raf. So that, testimony, our souls has it in it, but we suppress it. Why? Due to our vested interests, due to our positions. We are the leaders. So they suppressed. Kufr means to hide something, kufr. To do away with something, to reject something. All these are the meanings of this word kufr. Inna sharra ad-dawab inda Allahi alladhina kafaru fahum la yu'minun. Because they have already suppressed the testimony of their nature within themselves, they are not going to believe. Whatever you do, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or whatever you do, O Muslims, alladhina ahadta minhum. Now, the clear reference to the Jews. Because the Prophet, when he came over to Medina, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was a masterpiece of his, statesmanship. If you read the book written by Montgomery Watt, Muhammad at Medina, he wrote the biography of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in 2 volumes. Muhammad at Makkah, Muhammad at Medina. Although there was a trick, a very subtle, trick in it, but I don't want to go into that detail. But he uses all the words of praise in English language in superlative form for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His statesmanship, his far sight, his understanding of the situation. And one of the things that he cites is that he immediately on reaching Medina, he concluded treaties with all the 3 tribes of Jews who were living round about Medina. He, just had them in the fold of that Misaq Medina. And a joint defense treaty was concluded with them. This is very important. But what happened? These people, they concluded the treaty, but secretly they were violating it. They were sending messages to Quraysh, come, or you invade, and we shall help from within. So they were doing it. Now this is the reference to this character of theirs. Alladhina ahadta minhum, those of them with whom you had a treaty, ahad. Summa yanquduna ahdahum, and they are breaking their treaty, their covenant, fi kulli marratin, every time. Whenever there is time of mischief, they don't, keep their words, go back on their words. Wahum la yattaqoon, and they have no fear of Allah, and they don't care for anything. فَإِمَّا تَسْقَفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْحَرْبِ. So if you find them, and if you encounter them in the battlefield, فَشَرِّدْ بِهِمْ مَنْ خَلْفَهُمْ. So disperse through them those who are behind them. Give them the worst punishment, so that people who are behind, who are sitting back in Medina, who are pulling the ropes, they get terrified, So that is the philosophy of punishments in Islam also. The punishments in Islam, exemplary. Why? Cut off the hand, so that now theft will be eliminated from the society. In the same way, all these punishments, they seem to be very, to others they call it, they are very cruel, very harsh. But actually, crime cannot be eradicated. Now it is proved. There can be no higher level of education than the level you have in America. But has this education and all this, has it eradicated crime from your society? Most heinous crime is there. You can't reform the society. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed. In the same way, to those enemies of Allah, whomsoever you find in the battlefield, give him the severest punishment, so that it terrifies those who are sitting behind in Medina, and they also get the message through them. فَإِمَّا تَسْقَفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْحَرْبِ فَشَرِّدْ بِهِمْ مَنْ خَلْفَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. So that they may be admonished, and they think twice before taking any step against you. وَإِمَّا تَخَافَنَّ مِنْ قَوْمٍ خِيَانَةً. This is also very important. Every ayah of Quran is important. someone from one aspect, the other from some other aspect, but every word of Allah is most important. إِمَّا تَخَافَنَّ مِنْ قَوْمٍ خِيَانَةً. If you fear a treachery from any group with whom you have a treaty, well, you are faithful, you are fulfilling all the conditions of your side of the treaty, but you feel that the other party is treacherous, it's not keeping its terms of treaty. فَانْبِذْ إِلَيْهِمْ عَلَى سَوَاءٍ. So throw back to them their treaty on equity basis. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْخَائِنِينَ. Verily Allah doesn't like the treacherous ones. Now what's the message in this ayah? If you keep the treaty and take any step against that group or nation or tribe, this is treacherous. If you want and you decide that you have to take some action against them, first of all declare that no treaty between you and us now. This is the character of the Muslims. Not treachery, having a treaty legally and under the table fighting each other. This behoves of non-Muslims but not of Muslims. Whenever you have a treaty and you feel that the other party is not keeping the treaty, but also not declaring that the treaty is finished, but you, before taking any step against them, you must declare that now this treaty stands annulled. Then you take the step.